All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we are tracking a genuinely fascinating transformation in scientific research. We're looking at how you take a standard, general-purpose large language model. Picture a highly enthusiastic but, let's be honest, completely inexperienced intern, and put it through a rigorous evolution to become a specialized, master AI chemist.
It's actually wild how even state-of-the-art models will just confidently hallucinate molecular formulas when faced with basic chemistry. If you ask a general model to synthesize something as fundamental as aspirin or identify the products of a solid-state reaction, it completely misses the mark. It's essentially just guessing the next most likely word based on web text because it lacks that deep domain knowledge in chemical reasoning.
So how do we fix this? Well, our AI intern needs to go to grad school. We can't just feed it more random internet data. We have to put it through rigorous, chemistry-specific training. That means pre-training the model on billions of specialized tokens. For example, some of the top-performing open-source chemistry models are pre-trained on over 34 billion tokens extracted directly from millions of chemical papers and textbooks. This domain-specific pre-training is absolutely crucial to stop those hallucinations and turn it into a reliable research assistant.
Here's our roadmap for this explainer. We're going to cover the generalist problem, teaching LLMs to perceive multimodal data, equipping them with the right tools, reaction planning, learning from feedback, and finally, the future of the AI chemist. Let's get into it.
Section 1. The generalist problem. Understanding chemical search spaces.
First off, we really have to wrap our heads around the sheer complexity of the chemical search space. Molecules aren't just standard words, right? They're discrete objects with rigid structural constraints like valence rules and ring closures. So teaching our AI intern the chemical alphabet usually begins with SMILE strings. That stands for the Simplified Molecular Input Line Entry System. It's basically a clever method that translates complex 3D molecular structures into a flat 1D sequence of text characters that a standard language model can actually read. But as you might guess, just reading flat text strings has some major limitations.
Which brings us to Section 2, teaching LLMs to see through multimodal perception.
Because just reading a 1D text string simply isn't enough. A true research chemist needs spatial awareness. Think about how a single compound can be represented across multiple modalities. You've got the 1D SMILE sequence, the 2D graph mapping atomic features and bonds, the precise 3D structural coordinates, and even physical mass spectra. To be a truly capable research assistant, a specialized chemistry LLM has to process all this multimodal data, transforming a flat sequence into a rich 3D mental map.
So how do we actually bridge that gap? Well, a general LLM reads chemistry as a flat string without any spatial awareness, but a true chemistry LLM uses specialized encoders, things like RD-kit molecular descriptors, to map those discrete chemical strings into continuous mathematical vector spaces. By doing this, we literally allow the AI to perceive actual chemical relationships, molecular weight, and hydrogen bonds, instead of just statistically guessing the next letter.
Moving right along. Section 3. Equipping the AI intern by integrating API tools. Now, once your model can effectively see and understand chemical data, it still runs into internal memory limitations. So we need to hand our intern their lab equipment. We do this by integrating external chemistry tools directly into the LLM through APIs. This turns it into an active agent. For structured retrieval, we give agents access to high-fidelity reference databases like PubChem and the Materials Project. For complex execution, we hook them into specialized machine learning models like ChemCrow or Reaction Predict to actually calculate synthesis steps. And on the absolute bleeding edge, these agents are being connected to embodied robots like Co-Scientist and Organa to operate physical experimental equipment right in the lab.
Section 4, reaction planning and step-by-step synthesis.
Let's walk through an actual step-by-step workflow using a really breakthrough agent framework called RETTR-SOR. Think of this like the intern meticulously planning an experiment. Step 1 is call. The agent identifies a specific target molecule it needs that is currently unavailable. Step 2 is query. It invokes its external single-step reaction predictor tool to generate a list of viable reaction candidates. And step 3 is select. The agent logically evaluates and picks the optimal reaction, updating its global synthesis graph. It repeats this sequentially, learning and branching out to build a fully comprehensive synthesis pathway. And the results of this structured, agent-driven planning are absolutely remarkable. By interacting dynamically with these plug-in tools, RETRO-R1 achieves a staggering 55.79% success rate on complex, multi-step retrosynthesis benchmarks. That blew past previous state-of-the-art models by nearly 9%. It really proves that LLMs can handle sophisticated human-like reasoning in chemical discovery when they are properly equipped. And for a professional researcher, an almost 9% jump means drastically less time wasted on dead-end synthesis routes.
Section 5. Learning from feedback through virtual lab grading.
To truly master chemistry and avoid generating completely useless molecules, our intern needs to be constantly graded on their lab work using reinforcement learning. But, as we all know, expert human feedback in chemistry is incredibly expensive and rare. So, instead of relying on humans, we use automated environmental feedback. Here is how it works. The agent generates a novel 3D molecular structure. That structure is then submitted to virtual docking software, essentially a simulated laboratory. This software grades the molecule, giving the agent a precise reward score based on its physical binding properties. The agent then updates its internal policy using optimization algorithms, like PPO, making sure the next molecule it generates is even better. In specialized platforms like Chemistry 42, this process gets incredibly sophisticated. A platform like this uses an asynchronous ensemble of over 30 proprietary generative models working simultaneously. Its automated grading rubric measures highly precise 3D metrics like pharmacophore scoring and shape similarity. Data from this virtual screening feeds continuously back into the models, dynamically training the agent to optimize structures for real-world viability. It's a complete game changer.
Section 6. The Future Chemist and Automated Discovery.
We are rapidly moving past the experimental training phase and into a whole new era of automated scientific discovery. Researchers are continually pushing these models against rigorous key benchmarks like SciEval, Retro95, and MMChemBench to really measure their multimodal scientific reasoning. We're successfully mitigating those early hallucinations by leveraging robust reinforcement learning and expert software rewards. And for sure, the most promising future direction is closing the loop entirely, integrating these highly trained LLM agents with automated wet labs for real-time, autonomous experimental execution.
So this leaves us with a truly thrilling reality for the professional research community. The clueless intern has officially graduated to a master scientist. When your next lab partner is an autonomous AI agent capable of generating novel multi-step retrosynthesis routes and executing them right there in a robotic lab, what impossible molecule will you discover together? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I can't wait to see what you build next.